everything here today.
And why the millennial generation is starting to give up because they can't afford to get a good job or own a house.
8 million Venezuelans voting for this assembly, saying it's actually less than 3.
It is. And people are going to start rioting in the streets.
Was reported to have asked Putin for military support that would help him stay in power.
We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
And they ignore him, and 8 more years goes by till Bernie himself finally admits to his sons, hey, I've been running a Ponzi scheme.
Does its dominance mean it can use the alliance for its own ends?
Since 1981, bond yields, also known as coupon rates, have just gone down and down and down.
The Federal Reserve note will be your biggest financial liability.
RTD Live Talk. We are officially live. Looking forward to having a little back and forth this evening and seeing what's going on with you good people out here. Welcome to RTD Live Talk. My name is Mike, the host of RTD Live Talk. Looking forward to finding out what's going on this evening and getting your thoughts on this whole government shutdown and the fact that looks like President Trump has decided to order some of the furloughed workers back to work in the midst of all this government shutdown chaos, and they won't be getting paid, apparently. So got an article I want to share with you and also get your thoughts on what's happening and if there's been any new developments in this whole shutdown situation. We'll love to cover it. So as always, let me know where you're watching from in the chat. If we have any new people, I want to make sure I welcome you formally to the RTD community. And if you're interested and you're bold enough, feel free to give me a call, 1-833-LIVE-RTD. We'll love to hear your voice. And so with that being the case, let me see who's joining us thus far in the chat. So if you're watching, if you're on the stream right now, don't be afraid to give me a shout out to let me know you're here. I would love to welcome you directly. And so with looks like about 50 or so people online thus far, let me see if I can get 50 people to let me know where they're watching from and if they got anything they want to share in regards to this government shutdown. I know that there's a couple of radio stations I follow, and they're doing like fundraisers or whatnot to try to aid some of the workers that aren't getting paid, whether it be single moms, single dads, or things of that nature. So there's a lot of men and women out here trying to pay it forward as far as doing some fundraising and whatnot. So I would love to hear any stories from people who might be impacted by it or know of someone, and have you been able to be a blessing this current shutdown. So got more people chiming in. We got Kenneth, Crypto Shrugged. We got Shamia, we got Vino, Barry, Roberto, Lucius Ale, Hernan, John Moore. What's up, my friend? Clint Eastwood. We got Shamira from Houston, Texas. Welcome to the RTD community. How's things down in Texas? Tony, what's up, my friend? We got Lucius from Miami, down under there. How you doing? Arizona in the building. New Jersey, North Jersey rather. Good deal, man. Good deal. So with that being the case, I wanted to get your thoughts on this whole furlough situation. And so the question I want to throw out there first, and then let me know in the chat, or if you want to call in, feel free to chime in that way as well. But here we have a situation where it looks like there's still going to be a stalemate. Neither side is given, but yet the president looks like he's going to call some shots and order. I'm not sure exactly who I saw. I heard something about 42,000 IRS workers back to work and a couple other sectors that are somewhat important. And so apart from the fact that you might need the funds, do you think, and this is a question I'm going to ask, do you think that over the last week or so, every interview President Trump has given, he's always referenced that he has a lot of support from the people that are not working right now? And so by thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat or call in, let me know, do you think that he has the type of support that he claims to have, as far as him saying that I've spoken with a lot of patriots and, you know, they're for the wall, you know, even though the government shuts down, they're not getting paid, but they said, keep going, President, we believe you, we're behind you. Do you think there's a good amount of people that are actually out there possibly not getting paid, but still okay with the idea the government shuts down, they're not getting paid, and there's no wall and no foreseeable end in sight? So I would love to hear your thoughts on that. So feel free to chime in on that. It says, I just went to go work somewhere else because I need to pay bills. Rocks. Yeah, that's another thing. I came across an article of creative ways that government employees have decided to get back into the workforce in order to put some ends in their pocket. Jeff, how you doing? Says, friend works for IRS, got to go to work tomorrow without pay. Tony, man, so that's definitely different. And so I can imagine, just, from a psychological standpoint, you're going into work and you're not going to get paid, or you're not being compensated for your time, but you're expected to deliver 100% effort and go in there with a smile on your face like, I'm blessed to have a job. I'm blessed to be able to work in this country, but yet I'm not getting paid. So I assume, Tony, your friend's going to get some back pay or whatnot. And so if that is the case, then, it's not as bad. But I heard about a lot of people that are impacted indirectly by government shutdown, whether it be like cafeterias and little non-skill type of things that are closed due to the fact that they can't service government employees, but they don't get back pay. And so that's definitely different. And so I see a lot of thumbs down. So the question is, in regards to the question I threw out there about, do you think Donald Trump has the support of the unemployed as he claims to have, with a thumbs up if you agree and thumbs down if you don't disagree, or if you disagree rather, or don't agree with him. Looks like there's more thumbs down. And so that will be the next question will be, so is these actual statistics he's coming with, or is he just speaking off the top of his head as always, throwing out, he probably used one scenario, one story that was probably told to him, or something he saw on Twitter or something, and then he said, he multiplied it by 1,000. I got hundreds of thousands of unemployed workers out there just behind me in this wall. And so, what do you think about that one? Is he exaggerating a number, or could there be a good portion of the population that are for a shutdown, and those people he referring to, they're not employees of the government and they're not unemployed right now? That's what I would imagine he's getting those numbers or those ideas from. And so we got a couple comments here. It says, with no money, what if they have to pay for childcare? How do they work? That's going to be a tough situation, because it's good to say, some bills will not be paid. And then here's another article. Here's another article that someone emailed me earlier. And let me pull this up so if I can find it. So here's an interesting article I'm going to pull up on the screen right now of another side effect of a government shutdown. And it says, thousands face threat of eviction after HUD contracts expire due to shutdown. And so it says more than 1,000 government-backed housing contracts have already expired, and potentially more will do so in the coming weeks. It says since the shutdown began last month, approximately 1,500 or so federal rental assistance contracts have not been renewed due to funding lapses. So basically, you got landlords out here that are providing housing for those that are in need or of need, and they're not getting paid. So there's definitely going to be some issues with that, because if you are a lot of people, and I've noticed over the last year or two, the whole buy and flip mentality of, buy a house with no money down and nothingness and make money. So all those house flippers and people who are getting into real estate off of the idea of making money rather, they're probably going to be impacted by this when it comes to the HUD housing situation. So might see a little more. We're going to see more mortgage defaults, as well as more rental and leases being broken and all types of issues with that as well. So just another way that the shutdown is impacting more than just the employees directly. Everybody is connected in one way or another. It says Trump's garbage, same as Bush, Obama, and Clinton. Rob B. That's what it is. It says lies. I think Trump. What we say? I think Trump. What I missed something. Jeff, we got some articles already. Right on time. Let me pop this one open and see what it's talking about. It says New York City restaurants cutting staff hours as minimum wage hits $15. Oh, Jeff. Jeff, you always come with some unfortunate news, in a good way, of course, to keep us in the loop. But yeah, so far this year, I think 21 states decided to up their minimum wage, which at this current time where profitability is questionable and just a lot of uncertainty in the markets, to increase pay without asking for extra work or more skilled labor is not ideal. ideal. It says minimum wage rose in 20 states with the new year, forcing businesses across the country to grapple with higher payroll. So less profit, but you got to pay your employees more for doing the same job. Yeah, that won't end well. And so just to give you a little prediction on what that would lead to is automation. And so, of course, we see McDonald's rolling out automatic burger flippers, and they got ATM style cashiers now in restaurants. So, you know, and this goes into the idea of a lot of the public not being monetarily informed and thinking that it's their pay that's not enough. In actuality, it's the foundational monetary system which is causing issues, which means you'll never be able to have a living wage, as they call it, attached to a minimum wage to actually fund your cost of living. And so that's unfortunate. But, you know, in asking for the $15 hour job, which was that whole fight for 15 movement, they're basically shooting themselves in the foot, because if you're an employer, you're not going to pay that for the same level of work. You're going to want more for your bang. So I would bet you'd be better off going to buy a whole new computer system and all that stuff to do it for you. So it's unfortunate, but that's how this thing goes, man. Not good news at all. Let's go to another article. Feel free to give me a call if you like and let me know what's in your mind. It says, I'm hearing they want to cut Social Security cuts and Medicare. Clint Eastwood. Yeah, the whole entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, even though people say Social Security is not entitlement, I paid into it. Yeah, but yet I tell people you paid into it with already having a hint at the idea that you may not be able to get it, because I've been hearing about their Social Security being a problem, well, before I was born. So I didn't anticipate, actually being able to receive anything. So, paying into it, I'm basically just paying an extra tax, not really anticipating on getting it back, me personally. But Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff needs to be addressed, because as of now, it's all pretty much in the red. So it's draining our country, and so something has to give. And I'd rather it be cuts in those departments there, even though people were promised their entire lives that they'll be able to receive some pay and some health care benefits and all that type of stuff. But we're looking ahead now. Is it about fulfilling these promises given to people who basically were lied to, or are we gonna hold our future generation hostage for things that they, especially those that aren't born right now, will be on the hook for decades from now? And so it's like, is it fair or not fair? Yeah, we'll see. But let me know your thoughts on that. It's what else we got here? I saw another article. No. It says, still to all this, they will go 10G raise. It says, it's obviously going to be a crash with this hyperinflation. The question is, what's next? Gold standard or world currency? Blake, I would imagine a gold standard will not be feasible, because it puts restrictions on government's ability to keep a debt-based monetary system going. So I wouldn't say that will be an option. I can see some type of world currency that would probably start off with the front of being backed by gold, probably out of China, given the fact they probably have a lot more gold than we have now. And they'll probably issue it in some form of crypto or whatnot to get people excited and to present some options. But eventually they'll find that they can't run deficits if they have to actually give accountability to each note that is brought into creation. So it won't last long. So it'll be some type of backed currency for 20, 30 years to get the new generation, the next generation of Generation Z or whatever generation that is, that's right now have no financial, monetary, or constitutional understanding whatsoever. They're going to be the ones that's going to be trapped in it. So basically, my grandkids or something like that. But we got another article here. It says, student debt crisis worsens. Florida Board of Health suspends licenses over defaults. Oh, wow, that's something different. Okay, let me read into this further. It says, the Florida Board of Health has suspended thousands of healthcare licenses over defaults on student loans. Suspended thousands of healthcare licenses over defaults on student loans. Many used to earn their license, but many are concerned that the next crackdown may only worsen the student loan crisis. I'm not really grappling that one. A canceled license because of defaults on student loans. Florida laws require 45 days written notice before the state has suspend any license because of a default on student loans. So like driver's license, what type of license are we referring to here? So is this driver's license or student license, student loan? Ah, man, so that's a different approach. They're basically banning people. I'm assuming that's driver's license or what type of license. I'm not seeing here, but yeah, man. So once again, it's a news article. It looks like from every city, every state around the country with issues at a time where, you know, there's a lot of questionable activity happening around the globe. But anyway, people, what's going on? Feel free to give me a call. Let me know what's on your mind outside of the government shutdown, or whether or not, you know, the furloughed workers having to go back with no pay, whether or not that's a deal breaker or not. And so let me actually I'll dive deeper into that. I'll actually put up the article I was going to refer to. And it says, Trump orders thousands back to work without pay to blunt shutdown disruption. And so it says safety inspectors are being recalled to monitor flights and food. And so here's another thing where if you're not being paid, and a lot of these inspectors and flight or TSA or whatnot, or whoever they are, I would imagine, you know, there are individuals that are in dire need of pay. And so most people in this day and age, from what I've gathered, and you let me know if I'm wrong, most people tend to be motivated solely by the pay ahead of the actual accomplishment or the sense of fulfillment of the actual job itself. And so if you got a safety inspector who more than likely is not really doing his dream job in a sense, and it's more so he's doing the job because he has to pay the bills and has to live, and so he goes and probably does, you know, I'm not saying everybody, but a good portion of them, I would imagine they're not in a position where they feel extremely fulfilled by the work they're doing, which then plays into the amount of effort they give and being meticulous with whatever it is they're inspecting. And so I'd imagine that back when they were getting paid, the ratio of actual true bona fide inspections being grade A were probably, you know, not hit or miss, give or take. You always got some things to slip through. But if you're not getting paid and you don't like your job and you pissed and you mad at everybody, what's the chance you actually going to inspect with the precision eye of like looking for whatever it is that you're trying to actually look for to protect those that are going to be receiving, whether it be the FDA with food or whatever else it might be. And then when it comes to flights, if you ain't really paying attention, if you're on your phone or something and flights in the air or whatever, I mean, yeah, it's not a good situation to be in, I would imagine. Let me know, I could be wrong, but let's dive into this a little further. It says, critics say the Trump administration is skirting federal law by continuing to some function amid the play between the current whatever. It says a 149-year-old law bars agencies from spending money Congress hasn't given to them. 49-year-old law. So basically, money can't be spent until the president gives a thumbs up. So the question is, I wonder if all agencies are actually abiding by that rule, because I would imagine pretty soon they're gonna pass some legislation or something, or do some type of emergency measure to go past that or bypass that. It says the responsibility for prosecuting violations of 1870 Anti-Deficiency Act falls to the Justice Department, and no one's ever been hauled to court to account for the flaunting the law. It says paychecks for some 800,000 government employees have been halted amid a lapse of federal reserve. And so Trump administration is calling back some 46,000 furloughed employees at the IRS. And so that's 46,000 people going in to work, and they're not going to be very happy, I'd imagine. I imagine tax collectors collecting taxes isn't the most fulfilling job on the planet, I would imagine. But I could be wrong, and forgive me if I have any, IRS employees out there. But anyway, so it says the U.S. Department announced Wednesday is bringing back about 2,500 farm service agencies. Yeah. So people are going back to work, all right. It says some 40 personnel are also available amid the shutdown on an all-call basis to help process permit, authorizing seismic tests or search of oil. Yeah, so with that being the case, people wanted to go back to work, and they're back to work, all right, but yet some of them aren't getting paid. So how would that play out? We will see. So I can imagine pretty soon, if this thing goes on, you're going to have people either quitting, and I would imagine if you're not being paid, you're starting to question the certainty of a government job. So you're probably out there on a career builder right now, putting your resume out there, looking for something outside of government and more so in the private sector. And then that right there might start a trend of people saying, hey, maybe this government thing under this current administration may not be the smartest thing to do, because he can't really fill our problems when it comes to, the pay side of things. So perhaps you may need to get out of this public service, public government, or public service and go into the private sector, which at the end of the day would be a very good thing, because you have more people actually out there working in the private sector, not relying upon the illusion of being taken care of for the rest of your life. So depending on how you want to look at it, I could be wrong, let me know, but I think it could pan out to be a good thing, as it will hopefully reduce the size of government workers so that we won't have to run such a budget deficit and everything, paying for things we really don't need. So I got it says the problem will be what the money can buy. So 50,000 Dow don't mean jack if bread costs $10 to $15. This is our problem. King Spring, very good point, my friend. And tomorrow, today took a little while, but I actually finished up a very, very, very detailed infographic in relation to and understanding the importance of purchasing power and retirement. I think I nailed it I nailed it with the demonstration I'm gonna put out before you guys. So definitely, be on the lookout for that one, because it will make you think. It definitely will make you think. It says, didn't England declare no confidence in government is over now? Tim Truth, yeah, I think you're referring to the whole Brexit situation. And so apart from it not going through, I read something about there being some type of pause or hold on that or whatever. So that's going to be a whole other issue that I'm not even sure how it will play out. But time will tell, as always. Time will tell, as always. But anyway, people, the phone lines are mighty quiet this evening. So either you guys are not too talkative in reference to the governmental situation, or you're probably distracted by something else. Which one? Let me know. So definitely we online for a while. So give it a couple more minutes. But yet, other than that, I want to get your thoughts and share some articles rather, on what's happening out here in this government situation. And we go from there. It says, I will pay for food with precious metals. EJM Demon, more than likely, depending on the environment and the timing of whatever it is that would cause you to want to spend your metals for food, it might be, unless it's and this is my opinion, unless it's like a dire emergency where it's either that or nothing, then you might want to, dip into your goodie bag. But if it's a situation where you're still able to probably barter, or paper is still circulating in a manner that people will eventually take it, you might want to hold on to your goodies a little bit longer, because I'm a firm believer, like all redenomination of currencies, either through hyperinflation or just massive inflation, when I anticipate some type of new currency being issued domestically here to go alongside with the Federal Reserve note, aka the dollar, as they basically give people time to get out of the old note if the Federal Reserve note becomes an issue. And so with that being the case, I got a call here, but with that being the case, you might want to hold off until the new currency is revalued to what it might be in the fair market for real. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Craig out of Beaumont.
Craig, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good.
Nice having you on here. What's on your mind this evening?
Well, I think one of the things that's going on right now is that everybody's just looking at this government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those tests, one of those litmus tests,
mm-hmm.
to see how far they can push an issue before things start to bring itself forward.
Yeah.
And one of the things that, with all that going on in the forefront, people are not really looking at what's going on in the back front. And what I see is that some of the people that do the tax return loans,
yeah,
they're getting ready to make a come up.
Yeah. Tax return loans. So definitely there's people out here that, because I'm not sure, let me know if I'm mistaken, but I've received a lot of calls about, your social security number is whatever, please give us a call and we'll help correct you. So pretty much every day or two, I get either a social security type of scam, auto insurance scam, or a payday loan type of thing. So there are people out here that's going to take advantage of the uninformed and the uneducated. So do you think, this might be something that will be a problem throughout the year, or is just basically right now because it's government shutdown? Or or what?
Well, what I'm saying is like you what they call it, the WID Hyatt or those tax services like the H&R blocks and all them.
Yeah.
I mean, they have their primary thing is doing taxes, but they also do loans.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I look for them to do a spike, and then I also look for other people. You know, they'll put up something for like a government shutdown. You know, got you down, whatever it is. We can help, and your tax returns, we'll take that as collateral and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for something, like that to pop off, and in times like this, times of uncertainty.
Yeah.
I look for some predator lending to probably take place.
Yeah, definitely. I don't doubt it 100%. It's definitely going to be going down. So in desperate times, there's always people out there that's going to look to take advantage of other people. So yeah, I expect that to happen as well, my friend. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And if you know people, try to encourage them not to go that route because it never ends well whatsoever. It never ends well. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate you calling tonight. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
All right, yep, have a good one. Yeah, man, good stuff as always. Let's keep the show moving right along. What else is happening out here? Let me mute this before it rings again. And yeah, so yeah, good stuff there, man. Definitely payday shark lending. And then also on another note, what I've noticed that there's been it looks like credit unions more so offering assistance or more so like a pre-paycheck type of thing. Like, we'll deposit either your full paycheck or a partial of it, and then we'll deduct it on the other end when you do get paid. So, I'm not sure if they are interest-free, like type loans, or what the stipulations are. But the idea that there's banks and stuff like that offering people assistance, so that definitely helps for those that are in need of it. But hopefully people aren't scammed out of those things as well. But we will see. Got another caller on here. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How you doing? What's your name, boss?
In regards to
I'm sorry. What's your name?
Oh, Wade Willington.
Wade Willington. How you doing, my friend?
In regards to all right. I'm calling in regards to the arrest of Masar Hashami, the anchor for Iran TV. I think that's something that should be looked at because of the issues that you brought up about the government and things that's going on in the government.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I believe this is another way they're going to try to, I think, to suture in a movement from maybe possibly the Nation of Islam, with all them getting together and then suture them all together to make an attack against certain things,
mm-hmm.
To force some kind of coup or something against Iran. I don't know. I think it's something that should be looked at.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I saw.
And that'll be another.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that'll be another way to hide the. That'll be another way to hide the dollar deflation,
mm-hmm.
Because everybody's moving against that,
mm-hmm.
and with them bringing out these issues, if they can try to mount some kind of attack against it, because right now you see Russia
mm-hmm.
is starting their own platform for the dollar situation.
Yeah.
SPV start, then you have India, then you have China, everybody else
mm-hmm.
Moving against the dollar, which means that all of these bonds are being moved
mm-hmm.
out from the U.S. dollar. And so right now, with the reserves being brought up, 25% of the reserves being brought up by China.
Mm-hmm.
By Russia. Russia bought 25% of the yuan reserves on their currency.
Mm-hmm.
And those are going to be the platforms used to move international trade right now.
All right.
So I think that's something that.
Okay, so basically what he was hinting at. So some people mentioned in the chat that the volume was kind of low, but what he was mentioning is that the importance of keeping an eye on Iran and the idea that there could be some type of false flag pretty soon to be a distraction away from what's happening away from as more nations move away from the dollar. And then you mentioned a specific thing worthy of looking at.
Yes,
and so what was that thing? You said news anchor?
Yes. As a matter of fact, they brought some information up.
Mm-hmm.
You can go back to some articles because they had Louis Farrakhan over in Iran.
Yeah, I saw that.
Speaking on some
Yeah.
So with them moving towards the SPV, which is supposed to be moving on, and I know on Monday, this coming Monday, the monetary system for Forex and the Iranian Real is supposed to start globally on Monday.
Interesting.
And right now they're already.
Yeah.
Yes, and right now they're selling bonds right now for international trade for oil and agriculture right now.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Now watch this. Do me a favor, so some of the information you share with us, if you're on your computer, can you put some of those articles or whatnot that might give us some insight into that in the chat?
Sure, I can do that.
I appreciate it, man. Just we can all look into it a little deeper, because that sounds like some good stuff you're on to there. So appreciate you calling tonight, my friend. Thank you.
Right.
All right.
All right. Thanks again.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Good stuff there. Good stuff there. Audio. It seemed like there was a echo on his side, so it's kind of hard to see. But hopefully he put some of those links in the chat so we can dive into it a little deeper, because it sounded like he's onto something there. Sounded like he was onto something there. So we got another article here. Let me pop this boy open and see. Let me see. Got an article here. Let's look at what it says. It says, soaring restaurant prices signal inflation is much higher than official data suggests. I am 100% in agreement with that one. It never, like, just the whole consumer price index being roughly 2% or 1.9. They've been chasing 1.9, 2.2% for the longest. So I don't really buy that at all. So it looks like a little visual aid here from 15, 16, 17, and 18. U.S. CPI urban consumers year over year was up here. It touched the 3-point piece. It says China CPI is 1.9. So yeah, everything here is above 1.9. So I'm not quite sure what the Bureau of Labor Statistics would have us want to believe, but yeah, definitely, man. And the fact that they don't include gas and food into the calculation lets you know that, I think, what is it, food and gas and energy or some other very important metric that would literally let you know that, life, you can't live without it, but yet they don't include it as an expenditure or track it as something that needs to be monitored. So yeah, but as everybody knows, John Williams from StatStats, economist that does the consumer price index, as well as a lot of other indicators, according to old metrics from back in the 80s prior to them making tweaks. And his data for the last several years I've been following him has pointed at the idea that we're 7, 8, 9, 10% easily when it comes to inflation and food and energy or whatever. So, kid, appreciate you mentioning that. So yeah, man. So definitely, it's all questionable stuff. That's why I enjoy going back and forth and just scanning the surface of a lot of these articles here, because at the end of the day, I really don't believe them fully, because this is mainstream news. We're talking about people. Mainstream news is designed to just give you a predetermined narrative that has been chosen and selected to, basically just give us a little something, but not the entire truth. So help them, God. It says Iran regulated forex market structure announced. Okay, so this is what he was referring to, I'm assuming. It says Central Bank of Iran, an association comprising players in upcoming regulated forex market on Monday. Details of the mechanism of the new market were announced. So it's a new market. The word new market never really pans out well, because new market to me, when I see that, means de-dollarization or moving away from dollar-denominated debt. It says the founding association, including major market players, namely the head of a private banks and credit associations, and someone in France and Iran, over-the-counter. Yeah, so definitely this is another mechanism that is being created, definitely to thwart sanctions and to diversify and probably do some currency swaps and things of that nature. So yeah, this is just another nail in a dollar coffin. Appreciate you for sharing that as always. Thank you. What else we got going? It says Iran will do an end run around U.S. sanctions. Definitely, they have to, in my opinion. So it's just a matter of time before something does come to an end, and we have another caller. Just a matter of time. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Mike? Steve from Roseville, Michigan.
Steve, how you doing, my friend? What's on your mind tonight?
Good, man. I just want to touch on the inflation issue.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was watching a video. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the guy, Grindall61. He talks a lot about like borders and all the situation in California. Anyways, he was talking about these napkins he buys from Walmart, and he's saying a few years ago he bought them. It was 600 count, and he said he would go there and buy a bunch, so he wouldn't have to go there a lot.
Yeah.
So he said every few months he would go there to re-up on his napkins, and then he said they went down to 500 count for the same price.
Yeah.
Same price.
Yeah.
So he went back. You know, he would continue to buy them over the year, and he said the last time he went back, it was 300 count for the same price. So he said within 5 years, it went from 600 to 300, same price, you know? So that's the hidden inflation right there.
Yeah, man. And that's just like, you know, when you go to get, like, say, a bag of chips or something like that, the chips used to be like, you know, a quarter for, you know, a small little bag, whatever type of chips you want. Then they bumped up to 50 cents, but they kept the same portion of a quarter. Now they're at $1, but now you got like a 50-cent bag type of portion. It's mostly air. And then I'm not sure what they do now, but yeah, that's the other side of inflation, where the price don't move, but then the portion and the quality. Like I know with the Hershey's chocolate, I think Hershey's, they switched the type of cocoa that they use, and it's more of some type of other. So it's not the same Hershey's our grandparents had. So yeah, that's a lot of that's going on, I'd imagine.
He touched on that subject too. He was talking about, you know, when you buy a bag of potato chips, you're getting half a bag. You open the bag, it's half gone already after you open it.
Half air.
Yup.
Oh man.
That too, yeah. So I wanted to share that with your viewers, and just touch on that, you know, because that's a huge inflation right there. That's half to half. You get half for the same price.
Yeah, exactly. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you calling in. Thanks.
All right, Mike.
All right. Yep. Have a good one.
Bye.
Yeah, man. The hidden tax of inflation. It's called. They're trying to bait and switch right in front of your eyes. You know how they got those guys that put the little ball under a cup and they move it around. I hope you don't get it. Same thing. They give you the same substance, but yet they just shrink it inside. And most people don't get it, unfortunately. But those that are aware happen to get it. So we got another article here. Let's catch us up on this. It says Iran to present 5 meter barrels of oil at Stock Exchange Monthly MP. Tehran, January 14th. Iran Prime Minister Oil is charged with presenting monthly 5 million barrels of light, heavy crude oil and South Pars gas. So amount include 2 million barrels. Okay, so let me read this as a Stock Exchange Monthly. So is this going to? Are they going to dial back on what they producing or what? Iran is also argued to issue reports on selling oils. So it looks like Iran is making a lot of moves over there. Iranian officials, oil is a strategic product and world needs the commodity. The countries which have already stopped their oil imports with Iran are now after finding ways to indirectly buy Iran. So it says they're looking to indirectly buy Iran's oil. So that, I'm sure that plays into the prior article with the whole futures, Forex, all those parties connected will definitely be touching on this oil. And don't sleep on the fact that I heard or saw somewhere that Iran is looking to do their own cryptocurrency. And I don't doubt that they already probably have Bitcoin in their possession. So I'm surprised. I'm really surprised how, or I'm pretty confident that they're probably using it. But I'm surprised that a lot of sanctioned countries aren't using Bitcoin outright to just literally just throw dirt in the U.S. face, saying, "Hey, we're going to use this cryptocurrency here," which is trying to be a competitor to the Federal Reserve note, aka the petrodollar. So I'd imagine that has to be coming, if not sometime this year. It says, read article now, how hotels are charging for services they didn't even charge before. Philman, man, I don't doubt that. And so it's like, you walk in, they so I quote, what kind of services are they charging that they don't deliver services for? It says 3-card Monty. There you go, Tony. There you go, man. 3-card Monty. I'm trying to get their wife to look into trip to Ghana, African Unite. Oh, man, yeah. Let me see. There's an article. Came across an article on Guy the other day, but I can't think what it was about. But it's interesting. Had me wanting to also go to that part of the world. I've yet to go to the continent of Africa. If you ain't paying for room service, it's probably garbage. Yeah, man, this is happening in the lower forest. So that's how we would. Yeah. And so let's look ahead a little bit. And so we're approaching the middle point of January. Any projections out there? Let's do some trends, some forecasting or something like that. I'm gonna throw out a couple events, and you give me likely scenarios. I'll throw some scenarios as well. It says hotels are restructuring. Look at Vegas, 20,000 layoffs. Wow. Yeah, Vegas. That's something else. People don't have a disposable income to throw away. Bitcoin costs too much. Costs too much. Especially in Iran's case, it'll probably be a lot cheaper for them to move Bitcoin or some type of other alternative coin than to try to fight these sanctions directly by having to formulate all these backdoor deals. And of course, from years and years ago, I know that gold is in the equation with Iran, because I want to say that's why there was problems with Switzerland, because Iranian gold and the Swiss banks they weren't exchanging it directly, but they had basically just moved the tonnage from one vault to another to prove ownership, which helped the Iranian situation out a lot, avoid sanctions. So gold definitely is in the equation. So I'm trying to pull up an article here. Let's see if it comes up. Looks like an article is not coming up. Not coming up here. So unfortunately it's not working, and it says no internet. So might be going out pretty soon, but yet we'll keep it moving as long as we can, assuming people still here on the chat. So it says 200,000 production contracts. XRP doesn't cost much, and it plans to be utilized by banks. I wouldn't doubt, Drew, that they got XRP in the works, because more and more people are talking about XRP. And so when you have the public behind it and the speculators, and it's designed for the banking system, you probably got yourself a good coin there, because you got a lot of people waiting on the thing to spike back to that $3 or more mark so they can make some profits. And so let me throw out a couple scenarios real quick. Okay, throw me some numbers in the chat for this one. How much longer, how many days total do you see this government shutdown, partial government shutdown, lasting? So we're already at 26 days as of today, I believe. Give me some more days. How much longer before this thing comes to a halt, or will it? Or will this partial shutdown become a full-blown outright government fiasco? So let me know in the chat if you don't mind. Somebody said 33 days. So we got what, kid? We got 4 more days? You thinking of the shutdown? Hambo says 60 days. Rob B says not long enough. Drew says end of the month. Hold Silver says 20 to 40 days. And so it looks like, apart from the 60 days, everybody's more so on the short side, with the impression that this thing probably won't last much longer. And I wonder, why is that? Because the government will probably start to lose control, and they'll need to get people back to work, because not only will it impact people's paycheck, but overall confidence in the markets as well, or what? Omni says through the summer. Now that's a big call right there, my friend. So if it goes that long, somebody said keep it shut forever. Mike, that's cold-blooded, man. You got people out there not getting funds. I'm sure they're not too happy about that one. John says 90 days. Tony says whatever happened to Hashgraph. Tony, I haven't dived into it much, but I do follow the Hashgraph channel, and Hashgraph to me looks like it's going to be a player as far as it being something that's going to possibly disrupt the Bitcoin movement, or I'm not sure what, but from what I've gathered is it doesn't require that whole node aspect, which causes a lot of memory issues and, the need to download the entire blockchain. So I think that's a very, going to be really a big move. Someone said 1 million days. Philman, get out of here with that one. Says until Super Bowl. Most likely they'll just extend the current budget. Yeah, man. Got another article here. Let's see what this looks like, a crypto one. We'll see what this is about. Oh, okay. This is a XRP one. So I'll pull it up on here, show XRP a little love. Not a big fan of it, just by choice, but can't deny that it will be utilized and people will probably make some money off of it. It says the first bank using XRP says Ripple partnership will create a new era of innovative payment solutions. I don't doubt it, but innovative in the sense that it's still a crypto blockchain type of, somebody tell me, is XRP an open source? Because it's not open source, I don't believe, but I'm not sure. But I'm sure if it's still on the typical blockchain type of format, that's not a innovative payment solution unless they got something they've been hiding, which I wouldn't doubt if it's the banking cartel. Ripple says more than 200 banks and financial institutions have now joined the network. CEO Brad Garlinghouse predicts more banks will flip the switch and utilize XRP. So here's a question. If XRP becomes a primary payment method, then what will be the need for SWIFT? So it looks like SWIFT might not be utilized heavily outside of probably, some governmental type of things. And so if the banking system goes, around the SWIFT system, then that right there puts less need for a dollar in your pocket right there, because one of the primary reasons the SWIFT system is still predominant and the dollar still global reserve currency is the idea that everything has to go through the Federal Reserve and the SWIFT system. So yeah, that's interesting. So I'm sure they're not shooting themselves in the foot, but they're probably deliberately placing an alternative to their own problems so that they can be ready for the next solution rolled out. So just my thoughts on that. It says Google article, volcano has it parked. They said 5 to 10 years volcano will blow. Government knows this, we don't. Volcano has it parked. Let me look this up. So the good part about this show is that, we cover a lot of political stuff, the monetary side of things, but yet we can also go towards some natural disaster type of things. But I'm trying to look up the volcano and nothing's coming up with that particular spelling, so I won't be able to pull it up after all. But I appreciate the lookout. But it's in the chat, so it's marked and it's good to go. Yeah, what we got going on here? So anyway, we coming towards the end, people, and it's been good, man. We've been at a little bit close to an hour point. It says 666 days. It says, Mike, could you cover a wide range of great topics? Thank you, John. I appreciate that, my friend. Clayton Horford said, anyone trust their bank with their savings at this point? It's good to say a couple people out there probably still do. It is more likely the uninformed, just because the big thing with getting ready for the next paradigm that will cause major issues in our current monetary system is the idea that most people they only know banks. Like this generation here only know the security of direct deposit. I remember back in the day, not back in the day, but not long ago, prior to the Great Recession, where a lot of employers, still gave you actual physical checks on Friday. But then all of a sudden, right when the banking system was starting to have issues and they went to ZERP, all employers for the most part had to have direct deposits into your bank account type of thing. And it was mandatory. No more checks in hand. Another way of keeping your currency in the system, not giving you a chance to get a piece of paper in a check form. And so, yeah. So anyway, a lot of people are not aware of the idea that when you give money to the bank, you become a creditor to the institution. And so if you weren't doing that particular method of, giving them your funds and you're supposed to be getting interest on it, but that's not the case anymore. But if you had to take sole custody of your dollars, like the way we say, get your weight up. You gotta actually, if you don't hold it, you don't own it concept, or like the whole proof of keys aspect. If people had to take responsibility for themselves entirely, and you couldn't depend upon any third parties or intermediary type of individuals, people don't want that responsibility. So a reason I'm saying all is that because people are going to still keep their money in the bank, even when and if we go ZERP or NERP rather, and they're charged for parking funds in the bank. They'll probably end up keeping it in there because the responsibility of then taking it out, the security, the know-how, to know what to do, what, how, where, all that stuff like that will overwhelm a lot of people, especially if you're an individual that you put your entire life into the system and you're expecting to get a lot out of it. So those are all things that people should be aware of, that now will be the time to figure out how to become more of your own financial steward or financial vault, and just learn how to, take care of your own goods and services. And, in case you don't have the privilege of going to a bank or getting it out of a bank. So, but yeah, man, that's what it is. So as always, people, I'm about to call in for this evening. It's been great. I've enjoyed it as always. If you've enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to hit the thumbs up button. I see a couple of thumbs down. That's great. I appreciate the feedback. It takes energy to hit a button, so I thank you for that. But more importantly, as always, people, we'll be back on here tomorrow night. Be sure you guys tune in. And if you've enjoyed it, invite a friend. Let them know what we're doing over here at RTD Community. And definitely, I appreciate all the support and just the love for showing up this evening and being a blessing with your presence. So other than that, be blessed, be prayed up, and be on the lookout for tomorrow. A nice little infographic I think you guys going to dig. So other than that, be blessed.